Emergence, the miracle. The concept of emergence is often difficult to comprehend, or at the very least, not entirely intuitive. Perhaps many people have not given much thought to this idea. Some may perceive it as divine intervention, a mystery, or simply as something that just happens. For example, we can understand how each system in the body functions independently: the respiratory system, circulatory system, nervous system, excretory system, reproductive system, and so forth. However, one might wonder whether each of these systems serves solely its specific purpose, and only when they all work together does life emerge. The capabilities of the human body seem to exceed the sum of its individual parts, almost as if a supernatural intervention were at play. Simply put, 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4, which is a deterministic outcome. But if 2 multiplied by 2 somehow equaled 22, that would be absurd or even considered a miracle. This disproportionate increase or decrease in outcome is what we refer to as emergence. Emergence can be observed throughout the universe. From the properties of atoms to the arrangement of planets in space, everything exhibits emergent behavior because these phenomena are the result of interactions between numerous components. New nonlinear properties emerge when 2 entities interact and merge to form a unified functional entity. Nonlinear refers to these new properties, which are not merely the sum of the properties of the individual entities. Most systems are nonlinear in nature, as most of their components interact with more than one other component, resulting in novel and unexpected properties. Every system consists of multiple components, and there are interactions between these components. The equation 2 multiplied by 2 equals 22, used here to represent emergence, is a system composed of 2 components, 2 and 2. There is an interaction between these 2 components represented by the multiplication symbol x. Therefore, the outcomes or properties of the system depend on the components involved and the degree and type of interaction between them. Any entity that has components has emergent properties. Then, emergence is everywhere, and everything is emergence. The concept of emergence in complex systems is intricately linked to the interactions among its components, wherein the degree of emergence and the consequential outcomes are contingent upon the intensity and nature of these interactions. Emergence manifests in every incremental hierarchy in matter and energy. The interactions of quarks give rise to electrons, protons, and neutrons. The interactions of electrons, protons, and neutrons give rise to atoms. Several interacting atoms give rise to molecules, and several interacting molecules give rise to larger structures. Each stratum of structural/material hierarchy has a different level of emergence, each giving rise to unique properties of the interacting components. Assuming that all matter and energy are made of their respective fundamental components, the structure and number of strata of emergence are equal to the structure and strata of organization of any given system. Along with structural hierarchy, there is always hierarchical emergence in all systems. Crystal, magnetism, and water molecules are some of the best examples. Crystals with remarkable geometry and color may contain different molecules. A diamond is composed of carbon atoms, which in crystalline diamond form are exceptionally hard and transparent. Carbon can also exist as graphite, which is soft, opaque, and black. Although the composition of diamond and graphite is the same, the spatial arrangement of carbon atoms makes a significant difference, which can be attributed to the interactions between the carbon atoms. By incorporating a few different types of atoms into the structure, we can produce colored diamonds. For instance, pink diamonds consist mostly of carbon, with traces of nitrogen and boron. The most expensive gem, the pink star diamond, was auctioned for approximately US $71.2 million in 2017. Magnets have a polar nature, with one side as the North Pole and the other as the South Pole. All particles possess charges functioning as tiny magnets of sorts. Atoms have positive charges, protons, and negative charges, electrons. Electrons orbit the nucleus, which contains protons and neutrons, in shells called orbitals. If the shells are filled, meaning all electrons are paired, that atom has no net charge, resulting in no magnetic field. However, if an atom contains an unfilled shell, the unpaired electrons create a minute magnetic field. Certain elements, like iron, cobalt, and nickel, have half-filled shells and can be magnetized. For instance, a lump of iron can manifest levels of organization. The smallest particles form atoms, which then form domains, and these domains in turn constitute the lump. In each domain, the magnetic fields produced by the atoms may cancel each other out, resulting in no magnetic field. However, a strong cumulative magnetic field emerges if all the domains align their magnetic fields in one direction. By comparing two lumps of iron composed of an equal number of atoms, we can observe one as a magnet and the other as not. The orientation of the domains of the components is the distinguishing factor between the two lumps. Creating a permanent magnet entails aligning the domains in one direction. Thus, magnetism is an emergent property, as mentioned earlier. Water exemplifies the concept of emergence through the interaction of its constituent atoms, one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. Each atom possesses unique properties. The oxygen atom has two pairs of electrons and requires two additional electrons for stability, while each hydrogen atom has one electron and also needs one more to achieve a stable configuration. When these atoms form covalent bonds, oxygen shares its unpaired electrons with hydrogen, leading to a stable water molecule where the oxygen atom holds a partial negative charge and the hydrogen atoms carry partial positive charges. This arrangement creates molecular polarity, where the oxygen atom is on one side and the hydrogen atoms on the other, resulting in a non-symmetrical structure. The polarity of water molecules enables them to form hydrogen bonds with each other, creating cohesive forces that keep the molecules together. As a polar solvent, water can interact with other charged molecules while repelling non-polar substances. Notably, the properties exhibited by water, such as high surface tension, heat capacity, and vaporization heat, as well as its lower density in solid form compared to liquid, are emergent characteristics that arise from the covalent bonding and molecular structure. Thus, the interaction of oxygen and hydrogen atoms transcends their individual properties, resulting in the unique and vital characteristics of water. Emergence is present everywhere. All of biology is the study of complexity and emergence, which is the physical embodiment of bioinformation, the changes in bioinformation, and the interactions between various bioinformation. Our genes, cells, organs, brain, thinking, language, information, and culture are all emergent phenomena. All of life, including structures, information, and behavior, is emergence. Even non-living things are emergent. The difference is that life is composed of complex strata of fused emergent properties in terms of matter, physical body, and information, genetic information. Non-living things barely have three strata of emergence, forming atoms, forming molecules, and forming complex structures. Recognizing and acknowledging the emergence around us will allow us to observe how complex structures and phenomena come about.